So, my name is Awaoche, and today I shall be discussing COVID-19 and the immune health. Meanwhile, I will really encourage you to subscribe to my channel and to give me a thumbs up if you find this video valuable. I will be talking about coronavirus vaccines and immune health, the relationship that exists between the two. And my executive summary will go like this: that the number one way that people live long is by social connection, relationship with people. Fact is that when you isolate yourself, your cellular immunity goes down, and that will invariably lead to degeneration of your health. Medical masks and cloth masks are unlikely to be effective barrier against virus transmission. That we are a working ecosystem of microbes, weakened and dysfunctional immune system result in our body attacking its own cells, tissues and organs, resulting in harm and death, and that cocktails of vitamins, notably vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin D, and elements, minerals like zinc and iodine are high yield in boosting the immune system and bringing us back to life. So we will start by reviewing um, viruses, but from basic biology, it is understood that cells are the basic unit of life, and the combinations of cells results in tissues. When two or more tissues aggregate, it results in organs, and combinations of organs results in a system. It is pertinent to mention that organelles are precursors of cells, and the combinations of molecules give rise to these organelles. So these conceivable molecules are nucleic acid, which could be RNA or DNA, proteins, carbohydrates, and lipids. That being said, it is the interconnectedness of these molecules, from atoms to molecule to organelle to cell to tissue to organ systems, organisms, and ecosystems, that makes us who we are, that makes us different from the common one. Once there is no interrelationship or interconnectedness, we will be apart, like a reductionist part. And when you begin to see the body from a reductionist angle, then there will be a whole lot of problems. So let's talk about virus. A virus lacks the ability to replicate on its own, and it needs help of a whole cell duplicating equipment, borrowing enzymes and other molecules to concoct more viruses. Viruses are not living, but they are well organized molecular parasites. So COVID-19 may not be a living entity, and COVID-19, as you know, is a positive sense single-stranded RNA virus. So it is pertinent to mention that you are more microbes than human. We have about 383 trillion viruses littering all our body, 60 trillion bacteria, 10 times more than the number of cells in our body, and tons of fungi. We are basically a working ecosystems of microbes, So you cannot separate us from microorganisms, and you cannot separate microorganisms from us, because we are alive because they are alive, and they are alive because we are alive. So the interrelationship exists. Now we shall be talking about the coronavirus and its infectivity. The first known as the spike protein 1 recognizes the virus's target, a protein known as angiotensin converting enzyme 2, ACE2. that is found on the surface of cells that line the human airways. The second, S2 or spike 2, assists the virus in fusing with the cell's membrane once it has been anchored to the cell. The genome is injected into the cell after the virus's outer membrane has fused with that of the infected cell, hijacking its protein-making machinery and forcing it to generate new viruses. However, the invasion cannot begin until the S1 and S2 subunits are separated. There are also rights at the S1-S2 junction, which is the furin cleavage site that ensures the spike protein is cleaved in the correct location. The furin cleavage site is a minor component of the virus's anatomy, but it has a significant impact on the virus's infectivity. The infectivity, however, depends on the interferon system, which is the missing link between the innate and the adaptive immune system. Type 1 interferons are present in virtually all cells in the body. Upon coming in contact with the virus, the interferon system is stimulated in the cell. Kinase, an enzyme in the cell which facilitates the transfer of phosphate group from ATP, is activated by releasing phosphates. The virus then forms a complex with interferon regulatory factor 3 in the presence of the phosphates, a chemical process called phosphorylation. This complex traverses the nucleus and inspires the interferon beta gene to make protein or interferon beta protein. Interferon beta protein is generated, which is transported outside of the cell. Interferon protein or beta protein can signal self-cell, a process called the autocrine response, or a neighboring cell, a process called paracrine response. The interferon beta protein now outside of the cell interacts with a neighboring cell called the interferon alpha beta receptor, which forms a complex with interferon-stimulated gene factor 3 in the presence of interferon regulatory factor 9, which translocates the nucleus and instructs interferon regulatory factor 7 genes to make interferon regulatory factor 7 protein, which is transported outside of the cell. Now that the cells have been inoculated with interferon regulatory factor 7 protein, a sort of internal vaccine system has been established. All of these other cells are primed because the interferon system vaccinates them. When the virus infects these already sensitized cell or another cell, interferon regulatory factor 7 is released to stimulate the cell's machinery to produce not just interferon protein, but not just interferon beta protein, but interferon alpha protein. Interferon are like supercharged machines that go out and destroy the virus. The interferon protein alerts other cells to the danger. While the virus is knocked out by the interferon alpha protein, suppressors of cytokine signaling 1 is a protein that is encoded by the suppressors of cytokine signaling 1 gene in humans and is used to inhibit this process to avoid cytokine storm, because if the cycle continues, there will be generations of cytokine storm. So let's talk about the role of nutrition and nutrition, basically cocktails of vitamins and fruits that I talked about. Cocktails of veggies and fruits that I talked about. So in general, with the right chemicals, nutrition, and circumstances, the body will interact with the virus and knock it out without producing antibodies. Vitamin D, a part of the innate immune response against the spike protein, is both a hormone and a natural antibiotic. It has been shown to suppress the renin gene, and renin which will otherwise activate RAS and AAC2. Renin and RAS overexpression is caused by a lack of vitamin D. So, an ionophore promotes ion transport across the cell membrane. Quercetin acts as zinc ionophore. Just like pepper, black pepper enhances the absorption of turmeric. People don't know why they take pepper. They don't know why pepper is always added in their foods. The pepper you take actually enhances the absorption of whatever is in your gastrointestinal system. So, ionophore equally promotes ion transport across cell membrane. So, quercetin acts as a zinc ionophore. Taking quercetin with zinc improves zinc cellular uptake and increases zinc's antiviral activity. So we talk about chloroquine, ivermectin, resveratrol. There are some zinc ionophores. So that's about the nutritional aspects of COVID-19. So masks are being recommended. I am not against the use of mask, but the fact is that masks they are basically recommended for healthcare workers caring for patients and those experiencing respiratory symptoms like coughing and sneezing. Then the elderly and those with chronic medical conditions can use mask because when you put on the mask for a very long time, it causes an imbalance of your oral microbiome. There will be an increase in temperature around your face area and then a decrease in pH, which invariably means that the acidic content of your mouth will increase and then the temperature or acidic content, yes, will increase by decreasing the pH and then the temperature will go sky high. So in such a condition, certain pathogenic microorganisms are favored, which can lead to dental problems. So a mask should be used wisely and with scientific support. So these are some of the dosages for the vitamins and the minerals one can use in in managing COVID-19. Remember, you need to go get doctor's prescription. This work is not designed to give you or to prescribe anything. It's just an in-house thing you can do to help yourself. Thank you.